Taking milk 85 grams. Temperature of milk should be same as body temperature, so when you touch you will neither feel hot or cold. This is single tone milk and it has been pre-boiled. Now it is at room temperature. Adding vinegar half teaspoon. We'll keep this aside for now. Butter 25 grams. Here I am using salted butter and you need to melt the butter but heat the butter very carefully. Don't overheat. If you want to cut cost, you can even use good quality margarine. Do this step in the beginning so that when we use the butter is no longer too hot. You need to sift the dry ingredients. In flour, you can take 100 grams of Maida, or else you can take 90 grams of Maida and 10 grams of cornflour. Cornflour gives better binding, but this is optional. Take good quality dark cocoa powder 10 grams or 2 tablespoons. Next, taking sugar 80 grams. Sugar should be in powder form, so you can just grind the granulated sugar and make it into powder. In raising agent, taking baking powder half teaspoon and soda 1/4 teaspoon. Break all the lumps through the sieve and then whatever is left, just discard it. After sifting, take a whisk and mix the dry ingredients very well. Now we'll add the milk and vinegar mixture. You can see the milk has slightly curdled. So this is a substitute for buttermilk. We'll mix using a whisk. Mix slowly to avoid formation of lumps. Adding vanilla essence half teaspoon. It seems I'll need 1 teaspoon more milk, so adding the same. Mix slowly using a whisk and finally you should get a lump-free, smooth, flowy mixture. Once you have achieved the smooth and flowy mixture, you can add the fat, that is butter 25 grams and oil 20 grams, that is 2 tablespoons. So here I am using sunflower oil, you can use any refined oil. Now I will not use the whisk, I will take a spatula and mix the batter using the cut and fold method. So mix the batter the way I am showing in the video. Gradually you will see the entire fat will be absorbed into the batter and you will not be able to see the fat separately. So that is the point where you stop. Once everything has mixed well, pour the batter into a tin. So here I am taking 6-inch tin and I am greasing the tin with sunflower oil. I will place a parchment paper at the bottom and whatever little bit of oil is left in the brush, just apply on the parchment paper. In this video, I am showing how to bake in a pressure cooker. So for that you need a pressure cooker in which the 6-inch tin will go in firstly. Secondly, you will need some salt to be placed at the bottom. And thirdly, you will need a stand. So this should be a metal stand. You can use the ones you use to keep hot food on your table. So first of all, very important, you first remove the whistle and the gasket from the lid of the cooker. Secondly, you need something at the bottom, either salt or sand. Since salt is more handy, I am using salt. So here I am using approx 1 cup of salt. So this should just about cover the entire bottom of the cooker. And then you can place the stand inside. Now we first need to preheat. For preheating, you can just place the lid loosely on the top. Just see that it is fully covered. and you can place it on the gas at low heat. That is, keep the heat at sim and keep it this way for 10 minutes. Use the big or medium burner. After 10 minutes, use a tong to place the cake tin inside, because inside will be very hot by now. And now you need to tightly fix the lid of the cooker. For 2 to 3 minutes, keep the heat on high. After 2 to 3 minutes, reduce the heat to sim and then continue the baking. So this should take anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes, but you should keep checking after 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, open the lid and just check with the skewer. As required, you can increase the baking time by 5 minutes. Once the skewer comes out clean, that means the baking is done. But after that also, keep the lid and keep the cake inside for 5 minutes. Turn off the heat and keep the cake inside for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, take it out and let it cool. Now we will prepare the ganache, which is the most important element of the chocolate truffle cake. You will need mainly 2 ingredients. One is chocolate and one is cream. So you can use compound chocolate or couverture chocolate. I am using couverture chocolate for better taste, and I am using fresh cream. Apart from these, you may add butter. So use salted butter. Salted butter balances the sweetness of the ganache and also enhances the taste, and also adds a little bit of shine. Here I am making little excess ganache because you can even store the ganache in the freezer, that is deep fridge. Just keep it airtight in the deep fridge and it stays good for a very long time. Here the ratio that I am using is 1:1, meaning whatever weight will be the chocolate, I will be taking same weight for the cream. So I am taking 150 grams of chocolate and 150 grams of cream. Together this will be 300 grams, but I want to use butter as well. Butter will be 10% of the total ganache, that is 30 grams. So I repeat, 150 grams of chocolate, 150 grams of fresh cream and 30 grams of butter. Since this is a no oven recipe that I am sharing, so I will prepare the ganache using the double boiler. So for melting the chocolate, I am taking water in a pan, just half fill it so that the bottom of the bowl in which I take the chocolate doesn't touch the water. Let the water boil, then either you can turn off the heat or keep it in sim, and then place the bowl with the chocolate. Gradually you will see the chocolate is melting. Once it is half melted, you can add the butter and then you can add the fresh cream and gently keep mixing till all of them mix very well. Finally, it is a good practice to strain it to remove lumps and give a final mix. After straining, you will get a very silky smooth mixture. Now I will be adding this to whipped cream, so this has to set. Now if you have time, then you can just leave it outside. It will take about 8 to 10 hours to set, or if you're in a hurry, you can keep it in the fridge. The ganache should be in paste condition when I mix it with the whipped cream. So here I have taken half cup, that is 100 grams of whipped cream. That is the minimum you can take for whipping. We will prepare a mousse that will go in the layers. So for that, you can take 50 grams of whipped cream and 100 grams of ganache approx. Mix them and you will get the mousse. So this will be applied in the layers. Now let's make the cake. First I will cut the dome to keep the weight within 260 to 270 grams. Then I will cut the sponge into 3 layers. I'll be using sugar syrup to soak the sponge. For making sugar syrup, you can take 100 ml water and 1 tablespoon sugar. Take it to a boil and then let it cool. From that, take approx 50 grams for soaking the sponge. You can spread the cream in the layer using a piping bag if you are a beginner. It will be easier for you. Once you cover the entire layer, take a palette knife, dip it in water, drip off the water and use it just to smoothen the top. In the layers you can add choco chips and also if you wish you can add butterscotch crunchy or praline, but I am only adding choco chips. Second layer will be the top layer which has the dome. Place it upside down. Then firstly, using a piping bag, fill the gap between the 2 layers on the side. After that, apply soaking syrup and then spread the mousse in the layer using the piping bag and add choco chips. Then place the third layer and soak it with sugar syrup. Now after this we will be applying a crumb coat to the cake. Crumb coat means just taking little bit of cream and covering the entire cake. On the top it should only cover the pores and on the side it should only cover the gaps. After the crumb coat you need to set the cake in the fridge for minimum of 30 minutes. Before you take it out and complete the cake. Now take about 50 to 60 grams of ganache. For the glaze, the ganache has to be very flowy. So first of all you need to melt the ganache. You can melt it by placing it on hot water, or you can melt it directly on the gas very carefully. Ganache can easily get burned. So once the ganache is fully melted but still you feel that it is not flowy enough, you can add milk or water. I am adding milk to make it more flowy. Once the ganache is flowy enough, you can pour it on the top of the cake and then spread with a palette knife and do the finishing. So now the main cake is complete. Now for decoration you can use your creativity. I have shown a very simple decoration here. Hope this tutorial was useful to you. If you have any question you can write in the comment section and I will try to reply as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.